Hello and welcome to Transcendental Transformation, the place where spirituality and transformation unite. Host Miss Raina imparts truth so that you can break through your limiting beliefs and evolve into a deeper consciousness. As you go about your day, remember, before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And now, let's start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Transcendental Transformation. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and today is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018. I hope everyone is having a great week, and I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year right away. It is a new year. It is 2018, and I am excited. It's all brand new starts. It's changing direction, and it's going to be an amazing year. So, you know, with the new year, we always talk about goals and intentions and all that stuff, and this is one of the reasons why we're having the show today that we're having. But have we thought about our goals? I mean, I don't like to use the term resolution, because we always say we're going to do something, and a lot of times we'll do it for a week, we'll do it for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden we stop. And so I prefer to look at things as goals, and a lot of times we want to change things. At the start of a new year, we say, well, this is the year I'm going to change things. This is the year that's going to be different. And we have to remember that goals and any form of change, if you want to call it change, has to be worked on daily. This is something that, a lot of times we perceive something that it's down the road. Oh, this is going to be a great year for me. Well, the year is here. The year is now. It's already the second day of 2018. So this is why we're already making it a great year. So in other news, football. We have a football tournament that starts tomorrow, and I am excited and nervous at the same time because I've played with this before, but at the same time, I've also, I've been sick for a while, and it's going to take a while for me to fully recover. And, I'm just not sure how my body's going to hold up. In practices, though, I have held up pretty well. So it's exciting because it's nice because, we're raising money for cancer and everything like that. And it's a huge tournament that happens here in West Palm Beach area, and it's nice. There's co-ed, there's all guys, there's all women's, and everybody just seems to get along, and it's all for fun. And that's the great thing. So Chad, Happy New Year. How are you doing?
Raina, Happy New Year to you. I'm doing good. Had a pretty good holiday season, but this year I missed Christmas for the first time in many Christmases. I don't know what happened. Got a flu, a cold, or something lungy, something that just drained me, and I had to cancel my Christmas round. So,
oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever done that. And for New Year's, I was in bed by 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
10.
What's going on?
I don't know. What is going on? You're not that old.
I haven't hit 50 yet. I'm already over the hill. What's going on here?
I know. Isn't it amazing how all of a sudden we get a little bit older, and all of a sudden we're like, even I was like that. By the time 10 o'clock came, I started yawning, and I was like, where's bed?
DJ Pillow and MC Blanky, that was me. Party all night long. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're feeling a little bit better, but I'm sorry that you had to miss your holiday.
Man, everything happens for a reason. Maybe they didn't want me around. I don't know. But I'm feeling better. Happy New Year to you.
Good. Well, we want you around. All right, everybody. If you'd like to give us a call, you can call us in at 561-623-9429. You can web chat us. I'm on the website at w4cy.com. Make sure you download the W4CY radio app. And as always, we are on Periscope under Transcendental 13, and we are video for the archive, YouTube at youtube.com/Transcendental Transformation. So what ideas are you having for the New Year's? What are we looking for? How do we connect ourselves and our sexual creative energy to manifest our desires? 2018 is upon us, and it's the perfect time to process those emotions and turn personal traumas around in our lives. We have to learn how to heal and to set our intentions. And this is why I'm so happy to have our guest that's coming on today, because I met this girl a long time ago at an event. She's actually been on our radio show before, and I just think the world of her. She is an amazing person, and she, like I said, she was on the radio show about sexual abuse, and and ever since I met her, she's just a pleasure to be around. Her energy is amazing, and she's very upbeat, energetic. And so, Michelle Alva is a woman who's on a mission to educate and empower women that we are powerful creators that heal at the speed of light. She is a pelvic floor women's health therapist, a tantra practitioner, an integrative yoga therapist, and a psychic facilitator. Michelle is the creator of a mind-body vibrational healing approach that awakens our innate healing. It's called the Alva method of self-healing mastery. Michelle started the Soulfish Women's Group to inspire and educate women to live intuitively guided, body breath connected, and embracing their orgasmic and creative and sacred bodies. So please help me welcome back Michelle Alva.
Thank you so much, Raina. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Happy New Year. The first show of the year, and I'm honored to be here and grateful to share.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to have you back, Michelle. We, ever since the day we met, there's just been an energy about you that I absolutely love, your personality. And, then when I got to know you, it just all matched up. And I find you absolutely fascinating as far as a person and as a healer and everything. And I actually got to experience the Alva method, what was it, a couple weeks ago, I think it was. So, how
3
about
weeks ago, I think.
How about you tell us, tell us a little bit about yourself and the Alva method.
Well, thank you so much, Raina. Definitely. So my passion is teaching people through the experience of themselves how to process and release chronic pain, tension, stress. We become rivers instead of holding on like a sponge. We're walking around, a lot of us, they say that 80% of all diseases are caused by stress, chronic stress. And what the Alva method does is it gives people back their power to release and process their own stresses in their bodies, and doing it in a way that is based on science. It's based on their own physiology of releasing. So people are learning how to become their own source of release of that chronic pain, of that chronic tension, which a lot of times we go to the expert of us, the therapist, the acupuncturist, the physical therapist. I mean, I am a physical therapist. And what I've discovered over the past 21 years in this field is that we are vibrational, that our thoughts affect our physiology and our mindset. And the fact that I know these quantum physics principles and neuroscience and just all the things that I've learned, especially from my own body, because I had a traumatic first sexual experience that caused me to hold pain in my pelvis, that in and of itself made me aware of how my own shaming myself, feeling guilty, judgment about myself, and what happened to me caused me to hold pain. And then to release that pain with simple techniques that are all within me, I feel that it's my mission. I just can't keep it all to myself. Where there's people walking around on drugs that are painkillers and that's all they know, for somebody to come here and within 90 minutes to release their pain they've been holding for 10 years, I feel really inspired and passionate. And my intention this year especially is to get the word out and teach people in ways that they can access it globally, so that people don't just have to come here to Key Biscayne, but they can do things over the phone and learn how to navigate their own healing abilities themselves, because that's self-fulfillment, that's self-empowerment. And that's what I wish for the future of healthcare, where people are taught how to help themselves right away. That's the first place we go, rather than them having to do something. For example, only drugs, only medication doesn't empower people. And even though, sometimes we need that, but how amazing would it be if a doctor would say, did you know that you're your most powerful source of healing? Did you know that you can heal at the speed of light? So this is what I fantasize about. And I wish for that day, and that's my mission now. So thank you for being a conduit for me to share and inspire people of their amazingness.
It's absolutely my pleasure, Michelle. And, we are a society of stress. I mean, even myself, I had chronic pain for many years in certain areas, especially after the accident. And, we and I always say this on the show, we are taught at school so many things. We're taught English, math, science, history, all these different things. But we're not taught, any of this stuff. We're not taught how to take care of ourselves, how to deal with our problems, how to release pain, how to change our perception, how to understand that it is us that is creating a lot of the chaos in ourselves. And, a lot of times people who may not be familiar with this side of the story, will say, oh, well, that's new agey, or that's hoo-ha, that's some, that's some voodoo stuff that they walk around and probably chant and stuff, but it's not. I mean, we are energetic beings, as you say, and we do have the processes to be able to relieve stress and release, what we need to in our body. And those vibrations do change depending on how we feel, what we think, what our perceptions are, and everything else. And I think we get caught in that victim, don't we? We get caught in the victim of, why did this happen?
I was a victim of what happened to me when I was 14 years old. And the biggest thing that I realize now is that we all have choices with how we interpret, how we perceive. So I could have something traumatic happen to me, and I can perceive it as very traumatic, or I could say, well, what can I learn from that trauma? What can I learn from that painful event? How can I just grow from it? It happened, and then let it go, instead of myself defining who I am based on what happened to me years ago, which I think a lot of us do. So when my clients come here and they're like, Michelle, why didn't anybody teach me this? This is so easy. And they start to cry sometimes, and then they get angry. And that's kind of what happened to me, because as a physical therapist, we weren't trained to work with people vibrationally. We weren't trained to use sound or vibration or intention or breath. And imagine how, we are 99% made of energy. They say 99.99999. And so when we use sound, when we use our intention, our thoughts in our healing, we're tapping into that 99%. If I only work with people with physical things, I'm only really impacting the 0.00001% that they are. So today I use a lot of sound. I use the crystal bowls, the drum. I did a shaman training, and I drum, and I learned some rituals. Rituals are really powerful for reprogramming how we perceive ourselves. That's why rituals are used all over the world in a lot of different practices. So simple things like this that we do anyway, we're just doing it consciously, where a lot of us were unconsciously perceiving that we need to be in pain forever. And some of us don't even think it's possible to release the pain in 90 minutes or less. So a lot of this work is about changing our beliefs and our perceptions. Absolutely. And then the body just reflects that. It's
absolutely,
amazing.
Michelle. That's the problem, is when I talk to people all the time, especially being in the medical field. As you know, I have degrees in Oriental medicine and acupuncture as well. And so many people come, and they're just, and they sit there and they say, and I even have good friends that have been involved in accidents or need surgery or a ruptured, and they become victim to this, and they say, well, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And there's all these types of ideas going through everything. And, we become stagnant, not just obviously mental, but emotionally too. And, ritual, whether we want to call it rituals, conditioning, or just habits, or maybe, maybe resolutions.
A ritual is just an intention with an action. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's simple. It's not voodoo. It's not, witchery or anything like that.
No, absolutely. But people
when we wake up in the morning and have our coffee, that's a ritual.
Absolutely. But people don't think about that. We don't realize that our habits, we cling to these words because we've been taught that this word means this and no other thing. If this happens, this equals this, and there's no other thing. And we've become, and we've been trained that, there is this side and that's it. There's no in between. There's no around. There's nothing else. And we have to be able to look past that in order for us to be able to grow and channel ourselves into empowerment.
Yeah, it's so true.
So, Michelle, talking about 2018, we're looking at 2018, and a lot of people say, well, I want to get, I want to change things. I want to be able to, I don't like who I was in 2017. Maybe we had some traumas. Maybe we had things going on, but I want to feel healthy, not just, physically, but mentally. And I want to manifest these things. What are some ideas that they can perceive to be able to start that path, to be able to get the life that they want to go?
So something I would recommend first and foremost is for people to reflect on 2017, and you can write what were the traumas, the dramas, the sufferings, what were the low points, and then you can write what did you learn from that so that you can heal your past. And these are some of the things, I'm just giving you the cliff notes because we're on the radio show. And then looking at all those things as, well, how did I learn? What can I learn from that? What did that make me aware of that I wasn't aware of before that happened? So that we can turn the shit into fertilizer, and shit stands for strengthen, heal, imagine something new, and thrive. So everything in life is happening for us to grow. And we can look at it all, the heavy stuff, especially the stuff we might say that's crap, because we're attracting it. And what did I learn from that? So then we can transform it, since we're on Transcendental Transformation Show. And that's the first step, is saying, well, okay, maybe that actually was the perfect thing that happened, so that now I could be aware of this. And then to just simply be grateful for it, be grateful for your past, and move on. So then you can say, what do I wish to create now? And that you can write that at the top of a paper. What do I wish to create now? So, for example, I'm working on writing a book, and I'm creating right now the stories. I'm writing down everything every morning, and then the second step would be, how would I feel if that were already true? So then you want to write down how you would be feeling in your body. How would you be feeling about yourself? How would you be feeling if you already accomplished that? And when we make ourselves feel the way that we already achieved it, that changes our vibrational state of being. And for me, what I do is I breathe in the feeling. So, for example, I breathe in feeling already finished with my book. I hold a book in my hand and I close my eyes and I make myself feel like this is my book. I just imagine. So we spend time imagining and feeling that way in our body, and that creates a different electromagnetic field where we start to attract differently into our life. And this is something that I learned because especially it was so hard for me to let go of a past relationship with a really awesome man that I was relating with. And I got really frustrated with myself because I work in this profession and I was having such a hard time. And what I realized was it wasn't necessarily that I was so in love with him. It was more that he's what I knew. It was comfortable for me. My past was what I knew. And I think I was avoiding the imagination part, the creating something new part, because I was scared of the unknown. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us, is we're just so scared of what am I going to be like if I'm single again, or if I'm not with this person in my life. So instead of letting that go and creating something new, we hold on to it. Absolutely. Not necessarily because it's the person, but because that's just what we know. Yeah. So what we want to start to do is create these new neuronal patterns of feeling the newness, so that the newness doesn't feel new anymore. It's already something you know. So for example, if you want to have a raise in your job this year, or if you want to have a new relationship, I invite you to write down, what do you wish to create? And then how would you feel with that ideal job? What is that ideal job? You can write down all the different things you want. I want to work, 30 hours or less, making whatever or more per month. And then how would I feel if I was working with awesome people, my clients love me, how would I feel? And then write that down. And then make yourself feel as though that's already true. And I recommend doing that in the morning and at night. So when you're in bed, when you just woke up, You can imagine yourself already, that's already true, whatever it is you want to create. And I recommend people to write like 3 goals you want to work on this month. You can have your long-term goals, short-term goals, and not to overwhelm yourself. And then just spending some time, like even if you go to the beach and you lay down, or when you do your meditation, spend some time imagining it's already true. I already have this amazing job, amazing partner. And something that I do when I drive, for example, I'll hold hands with him and I'll feel what it feels like to hold his hand in my hand while I'm driving.
Well,
so I've been doing this, and then also in my bed.
Michelle, hold on one second. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I mean, we're gonna take a break in just a second, but those are some amazing words, and you know, we're gonna talk about being comfortable when we come back with these messages from the life of Raina.
A message from the life of Raina. We live in a world faced with many tough challenges. Our lives become chaotic and filled with disaster ever so quickly, most of the time before we even realize. Our issues beat down our mental mindset, and an imbalance of emotions become prevalent. The life of Raina is dedicated to helping people on the deepest spiritual level. Miss Raina, the creator of Transcendental Development and Growth, works on your core issues and finds the solutions which allow you to break free from the emotional bondages of life, helping you achieve the life you've always wanted to live. Isn't it time that you lived life for you? Call the Life of Raina, 561-846-2190, and schedule your appointment today. That's 561-846-2190. Or email thelifeofraina@icloud.com.
Hey, you're listening. Oh, we are now it's working. Okay, we are back. My mic's finally on. You are listening to Transcendental Transformation. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and we have special guest Michelle Alva, and we are talking about transformation as far as bringing in the new year, healing our body with our own mind and attention, our intention. And you know, before we went to break, Michelle was talking about something about reflecting in 2017 as a way to start, a transformation, and I think that is very valuable, because we don't like to look at our past. We run from our past. We hide from it because we view it as painful. We become the victims to our past, as saying, well, and try to change it. Sometimes, things happen in life and we look at it as something that's so traumatic that a lot of times we don't want to face it. But the only way that we're going to learn about something is through reflection and facing and taking on these ideas. Becoming aware is one thing that I train my students to be all the time. And, a lot of times we think we're aware. We think because, we pay attention to things that brings us awareness. But awareness is not just about the things that are around you, but what's going on inside you. The things that are creating limitations, holding you back, the things that are blocking you from achieving these or creating that chronic stress or that chronic emotional upset that is going on in your life. So yes, we need to be grateful for the past, but in a sense of understanding, not just saying every day, well, yes, I'm grateful for this, thank you for the car, thank you for all these things, but to become understanding of why those lessons are they are. So Michelle, you were saying, all these different steps, and I think that's what happens to us a lot of times. We get comfortable. We are beings of comfortability, and we want to be comfortable, so we tend to go back to those habits that make us feel comfortable.
Yeah, we're basically, when we're aware of this though, I think that really empowers us to be, because we're used to what we do. That's what we become habits. And then we can create new habits, and incorporating these techniques makes us feel more empowered. That, just like with the work that you do, Raina, is so empowering. That's what this is all about, really, is giving the power back to the person.
We talk about power and self-empowerment, and a lot of people, always we'll read books, we'll have classes about self-empowerment, but, then all of a sudden we find that, we feel strong one day, we're out to go get the world, or even as the things we're talking about, the New Year's resolutions. This year is the year that I'm going to lose weight. This is the the year that I'm going to change my way of thinking. This is the year, this is the year. And we say that year after year. But if we have all this information and we have all this knowledge, where does that power end up going to then?
Well, the thing that's important is coming up to share is that our subconscious mind is our physical body. Our subconscious mind that does, when people want to create a New Year's resolution, but then they don't really follow through, it's because consciously we write down those New Year's resolutions, but then our subconscious mind doesn't vibe with that because that's not what we're programmed to do. And this is where the Alva method helps us to reprogram in our body so that our conscious body can align with our subconscious mind, which is in our physical body. So if a person wants to lose weight, for example, we have to feel light in our body to actually create more ease with losing weight. But if we feel heavy and we feel that it's impossible for us to feel light, then we're not going to lose the weight easily. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're told constantly that we have to rely on all these things. We have to rely on a universe to do it for us. We have to rely on our government. We have to rely on a god or goddess or whatever we believe in. You have to rely on your neighbors. You have to rely on your parents, and we become susceptible to just sitting around and waiting. And there can't be any form of alignment at all.
Yeah. And that's where I'm really grateful now that I actually have a way that works that we can manifest and create and imagine a world where everybody is I know that's what your mission is also, Raina, and that's what I love about you, that you're creating this radio show to awaken people. I remember that's what you said at another interview we were at. So I really appreciate you for having that awareness also.
Oh, well, thank you, Michelle. Let's talk about expectations, because expectations is something that, it kills us a lot of times. I mean, I for most of us, I don't really think we're aware of how much we're expecting. And I think, that's one of the things that I liked when we talked back and forth, is that we had a lot of, understanding with that, is that, we'll go out and we'll go out to some type of healing thing, or we'll go out to some place or meet up with friends or start to make new friends, or whatever the situation is. And we always come in with these expectations of the way we think it should be. And then that kind of throws us into instant chaos immediately.
Yeah, and I think when we have expectations, we're in our head. We're not in the feeling mode when we have expectations. And what for manifestation, for creating, we must be in our feeling, in our intuitive, in our creative mind. So it's not about thinking, it's about feeling. And that's where we want to feel as though it's already true, whatever that is that we want to create. When we have the expectations, we're actually cutting off the creative flow. We're making it more difficult for things to attract to us.
But then that will pose, a lot of times a problem, because how do we know when we're expecting something? I mean, we go in and a lot of people, if I asked a lot of people, if I brought in a group of 1,000, I said, how many people are open-minded without expectations? And probably you'd say maybe most of them would probably raise their hand and say, oh, me, me, me. But then the moment something starts, or the moment they view something, or something's on TV about an idea or whatever, and all of a sudden it creates this emotional chaos. How do they become aware of finding out what their expectations are and where it's getting in the way?
Well, I always just come back to the breath, and we can ask ourselves what's getting in the way. So we connect to our heart, take a deep breath in, expand your chest, because the heart is our intuitive connector. So we can connect to the present moment, we can connect to clarity, we can connect to awareness of those expectations by just asking ourselves, where am I getting in the way? What are my expectations? What's getting in the way? And it's amazing when we really get heart-centered, heart-connected, how it will show up. There'll be a feeling of the answer. And so it's asking those questions, what are my expectations? How am I getting in the way of this? What do you think about that, Raina?
Well, getting in our way is what we do best. I mean, even when I was young, I got in my own way, and you can't really sit there and blame yourself, and we fall victim to that. Our victim and our ego is huge in everything we do, and this is what I say about when people come to me and they say, oh, Miss Raina, I want to set these goals, but I always fail at goals. I always sit there and I'll do them for a week or two, and then I get tired, and it seems like we don't really want to put in the work. And well, where am I getting in the way? Well, it's like you said, it's our way of thinking. It's our perception of the outcome or the expectation that we want to get. I mean, even me right now, I'm sick for the first time in ever. I've always been healthy, and because of a parasitic infection, I became very sick, which caused a lot of. And this is going to take some time. And I tell people that no matter what happens in life, you have to be able to come, as you say, come from your heart and look at it and say, put yourself number one. Everything else has to sometimes go to the wayside. Nothing in the world is that important, no matter how important it seems, especially when you're coming to working on yourself or healing yourself in some way, shape, or form. And, you have to take a step back and say, okay, well, if this is a blockage in my way and I want to get to this point, well, the best thing to do is then focus day by day, because to me, as I stated in the beginning of the show, is that you have to be able to, the future, it doesn't matter to me. Whereas like the practicing what we're doing right now is the way to get to our goal.
Yeah, and to be more in our body. This is so important, to embody presence, because all the magic happens in the now. When we're fully engaged and present in this now, this right here now moment, the mind is calm, is peaceful, and this is where the magic happens. Synchronistic events happen. And so everybody's encouraged. I encourage everyone, all my clients, to put their hand on their chest, to massage their chest and rub their hand over in a clockwise way, and really feel your heart beating throughout the day. Feel your chest and connect to your body, even rubbing your belly, even putting our hands on our thighs and feeling into our body makes us shift our mind to the present moment, because your body's always happening now. And that helps us to get grounded, get into ourselves rather than just running with our thoughts.
Well, self-care is the thing we need to do. And, I'm guilty of that. Even you knew that when I came to your house, the first thing you asked me, well, when was the last time you had a massage? When was the last time and it's been a while, because, a lot of times we get so caught up in ourselves. And I'm a massage therapist. I can massage myself all I want, but, it's just taking that time out and disconnecting from everything and saying, what, this moment, this 5 minutes, this 15 minutes, this hour, or whatever it is, has to be about me and me itself, because, I don't believe in a past or a present, or a present. I know for the Akashic records, technically there is a past, present, and a future just in record form, but in reality, every second of every day is now. And so to me, the past doesn't matter, the present doesn't matter, and what am I doing for myself right this moment? So 2018 is upon us. We can't be looking at 6 months from now. We're already in day 2 of 2018. One day is already behind us. What are we doing now?
Yeah, and that's where the breaths, like I tell my clients when they go to the bathroom, all of us go to the bathroom throughout the day. We can have a ritual of letting go, because sometimes we're holding on to too many thoughts, too much tension in the body. And when we flush the toilet, we can flush our emotions and do a deep breath in and then a deep breath out. And so incorporating these functional rituals, these daily integrated into your daily life activities, that really helps us to put that mindset of, I'm going to let go of what doesn't serve me. Just like when we wash our hands, we can ask ourselves, am I holding on to anything that doesn't serve me? And then just wash it off your hands when you're washing your hands. So we can add that into simple cleansing, clearing things that we're doing every day. When we go to the bathroom, we're clearing the past. We're clearing whatever we ate, whatever things were in our bodies, we're letting them go. And I feel that really helps me to stay light and not feel heavy. I used to feel very weighed down in my body because I was chronically tense in my shoulders and my low back, because I was very hard on myself, weighing myself down with my thoughts. So now I breathe into my body. Throughout my day, and then when I go to the bathroom, when I wash my hands, those are little rituals I do to help myself flow more. And I feel lighter.
Well, let me ask you this, Michelle, because I know there are a lot of people that understand this stuff, and there's some people that are listening to the show that may not be too familiar. Why is breathing, because we've been talking about it kind of throughout the show, why is deep breathing and why is so important to us?
Because it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. It's the relaxation system of the body. Our diaphragm, when we're babies, for example, we're using our diaphragm primarily to breathe. And our ribs are actually very horizontal, so that it's actually hard for us to breathe in a stressful way. Most of us, a lot of us are under chronic stress, especially in this country. We sit in chairs all day and our breathing pattern changes. We breathe with a shallow breath. A lot of us, our shoulders lift up when we breathe in instead of our belly expanding. So we're actually making ourselves more stressed out by breathing with the upper chest rather than with the belly, the diaphragm. And the diaphragm muscle, when we contract it to breathe, it's something that happens spontaneously and automatically. However, a lot of us aren't breathing that way because we sit in chairs forever, 6 to 8 hours a day. We slouch. So when we slouch and we're on the computer or we're on the couch and we're watching TV, we collapse, we flex, and the diaphragm actually can't move. So it's really important for us to have an erect posture as much as we can, so that then we can invite more use of our diaphragmatic breathing so that we can naturally calm ourselves down and take in more oxygen also per breath, because oxygen is what we need to keep ourselves feeling vitality. So the breathing pattern that we have is going to affect how we digest. It's going to affect how we feel, so we'll feel more energized when we do this diaphragmatic breathing, and we're going to be stimulating more the parasympathetic, this calming system of the nervous system. So breathing is a great way to process and flow our emotions, to help our digestion, to feel more energized. It also affects how our mood is. If we're not getting full breaths, if we're not getting all the energy in, we're not going to feel as excited in general or energized. So the breathing for me is, I teach everybody, all my clients, how to use their diaphragm maximally, engaging their diaphragm.
Well, I'm so glad you brought up the digestion part, because a lot of people, I don't think we slouch. We're slouchers, especially us that work on the computers. I know there's a lot of people that sit at desks all day. They work on a computer, they slouch, they're constantly bent over. And, even like I said, even when I got sick, I had to make sure that even my digestion, because if any of us have ever eaten too much, what do we do naturally? As soon as we eat too much, what do we tend to do? We want to lay back, unbuckle our belt or stretch out our pants or whatever we're doing. And that's because it's our body's natural way of saying, hey, I need to be able to do this. And when we crouch, it doesn't allow our body to digest the food properly. And then we don't get the nutrients that passes through. And, and then we start a whole chain of events. But I really like the fact that you brought up the parasympathetic nervous system, because, we are in fight or flight all the time. We're always go, 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 because we have worked ourselves into a perception of this is so important and I'm not. And we have to be able to change that.
Yeah, and it brings you more awareness of your body, like I said. So we're getting down into ourselves rather than thinking we're just this mind that has thoughts. So it expands our perception of what we are. And I think we feel more fulfilled when we feel ourselves more. And I know this because I was disconnected from my body a lot of my life. I left my body because of the sexual trauma that happened. So now that I'm in my body, when I want to if I want to make a decision about something, I put my hand over my chest. I calm myself down so that I'm more clear-headed. And I asked myself, like I was buying a pair of shoes the other day and there were two of them and I liked both of them, but I really only wanted one of that color. So I just connected to my heart and I asked myself, which is the pair? I know it might sound funny, but sometimes we spend all this time, what do I want to do,
Yes, yes.
So this is really about feeling your yes.
Well, what do we do for, like, people are resistant to change. People, like you said earlier, we like to do what's comfortable. And I know you went through this, because at first we are going to resist change because our body doesn't like it, especially our brain. It likes to, it likes to run its routes. It likes to have its same patterns, its same conditioning. It likes to know what to do. And then all of a sudden we expect to, and that's why a lot of people, I think, give up on, trying to change and do this. And that's one of the reasons why when working with me, I make people sign, multi-month contracts, because I understand it. So what do we do for that resistance?
Well, first of all, be grateful for it, because gratitude is such a powerful way to neutralize whatever heaviness. So be grateful for the resistance, because you're noticing the resistance, and then just ask yourself, what do I want to create? And you could just feel that resistance, and that's where I use the breathing. Where are you feeling resistance? Resistance with what? Okay, I'm feeling resistance about really following through with losing weight, doing exercise, let's just say, okay? So the first thing is to be grateful for it. What is it teaching me? Just like I said in the beginning of the interview, look at your 2017. What were you resisting in 2017? Be grateful for it. And then what can I learn from this resistance? What can I learn from not doing that? Okay, well, I learned that I'm getting frustrated because I really want to lose this weight. So the resistance is actually teaching me that I don't want to be in resistance. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because that's when we change, right? We do more transformation because we have to be more in what we don't want. And then it's like a slingshot. Sometimes we have to go backwards so that we then have this little fire inside of us saying, I'm ready to make that change.
And I think that's all part of the process, as you said, because there's a lot of people, and I'm sure you've been asked this a billion times, they always say, how do I get past, I really want this, Miss Raina, I really want this, Michelle, but then when I want it for a couple weeks, then all of a sudden I just don't want it anymore. And then I go so easily back into my habits. I go back into the junk food. I go back into believing this or acting this way. And then before I know it, there's a new year passed and I've done the same thing all over again.
Well, that's where we all need to start imagining more. What do I want to create? Asking that question, what do I want to create every morning when you're waking up in the morning? How can I be the highest version of myself today? What do I wish to create today, right now? And maybe it's just, I want to create more acceptance right now for myself. I want to create more patience and acceptance of myself, that I'm on this journey, and I want to feel that I'm enough right now. And that's something that I think is really important as we are on this conscious path. How am I feeling on my day-to-day? Do I feel like I need to change? Am I good enough? And enjoying the journey, let this be an exciting adventure that's going to help you to strengthen your discipline muscles, your focus muscles, and not be so hard on ourselves. And I know this because I was so hard on myself that I took out the fun. And I think let's just be grateful for wherever we're at, because it's all a part of the journey. And then feeling ourselves that we're enough exactly as we are, even if we don't change. What if I could just love myself unconditionally today, right now? And those kinds of things help me out a lot, so that I'm going into my transformation in a way that's more light rather than heavy and serious.
Well, we have to be enough, Michelle. We have to sit there and come to a point where, we have to rely on ourselves, and because when we say I want change, isn't it, to me, it's kind of like to a point of rejection of self, or maybe the lessons that have come into our lives, because, I want change. I don't want this anymore. I don't want to deal with this. And that's the way a lot of times we tend to look at things. And I tell people, well, we have to look at those things in order to heal those things, because, like you said, and I've said before too, we've had to face our past. We've had to face our traumas. We've had to go into it in order for us to understand it, to come to that acceptance, so that we can build the patience and not reject those lessons. And I think when people are saying, I want change, I know that some people really do want to turn into a person that they really enjoy, that they really love, and everything like that. But that's part of the package, people. The things that cause us the trauma and those things that are making us joyful is all part of the same package. And I think that's where the acceptance has to come down to.
Yeah, if we can love ourselves, that's a beautiful point, Raina. I'm so grateful you said that because we need to love ourselves. I say this to my clients. Do you love your son when he's not feeling well? If he did something bad or, something that you think is bad, but he's learning, right?
Yeah,
So
yes.
do you not love him in those moments or if they're sick or if they're not feeling well? So this is where they say, of course I love him the same. So this is where, well, why can't we give ourselves the same type of love? And that really helps people a lot.
It does. And, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left, but I want to talk about surrendering because, we hear that term a lot too. Oh, you have to surrender to it and you have to surrender to this. And, and it's like, what is surrendering? What are we surrendering to? An idea, a thing, our emotions? What are we surrendering to?
Well, what I have discovered in life is that there's this universal order out of all the chaos, that when we let life really feed us, like the intuition, we know everything we need to know.
Yes.
And we question so much and overanalyze and overthink things. So our soul is saying, can you please just shut up and meditate a little more so that I can give you the answer? So when we say surrender, I mean, we can look at it as you can physically surrender your body to your mattress every night and surrender your thoughts by focusing on your breath and ask yourself questions, like what decision would be best for me? Like just asking yourself the questions that you want the clarity on and then just surrender to the answers. They're all inside you if we allow ourselves to be quiet and be the witness. This is where meditation, just being the witness of your breath, being the witness of your sensations without any analysis, in that quiet whisper, when the mind is quiet, that's when everything is revealed to us. And so that's why I highly recommend people do meditation, and that's why I offer a free gift on my website where people can start to practice in their body to listen more to that quiet whisper, the intuitive guidance. That this is where the Soulfish Women, I wrote down the title. Soulfish Women means intuitively guided, body, breath connected. And we're saying yes to listen to our heart brain, which the heart, they say, has its own brain, its own intuitive sensing. And the more we're in touch with our body feeling, the more we can actually receive the wisdom, the clarity. So if you're a person that's stuck in your head and you're analyzing and thinking, breathe into your heart, breathe into your belly, breathe into your thighs, breathe into yourself more, feel yourself more. And you could even put a pillow over your tummy and breathe over, feel the pillow against your body when you lay down in bed. And that's going to take you out of that thinking mind that analyzes so much. And then you'll ask a question, what do you want clarity on? And the more you do this practice, the more calm and peaceful, the more easier it's going to be to hear the answers. And I hope that answered what.
No, Michelle, that was perfectly said. Meditation, and to me, my best meditations are always when I sit in stillness. I'm not one of those that likes to have the visualizations and have to go see the sunshine and the rainbows and the unicorns. I don't need that. To me, my meditations always go deepest, and the answers that come to me is always when I'm sitting in stillness with my energy, nothing else. And I do ask myself the question, but then I let it go. I'm not sitting there repeating the question over and over in my head, and expecting someone else to talk to me or a voice to hit me right away. A lot of times it comes through, at least to me, through feelings, through thoughts, through ideas, through all these different ways. And to me, that's that. But we are running out of time. So Michelle, let's wrap up because I know you. Mm-hmm. I want to give a chance for you to give out your website. How do people contact you?
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I encourage, if anybody's interested in learning more about how to empower themselves in their bodies, to heal themselves, to release chronic pain, to be more intuitive, to heal their heart. Some of us are holding on to resentments. And if you're feeling stuck, reach out to me at michellealva.com. That's www.michellealva.com, and you can go there and download a free meditation that's to empower your center and ignite your soul's joy. It connects you to your solar plexus, your belly, and your center of your body. So it also awakens a lot your feeling of expansion, feeling of enlightening your body, feeling lighter in your body. And people can hear that meditation for free just by putting their email and their name. And if anybody wants to schedule a free discovery call, I do these calls on the phone where I can learn more about what your needs are and then share with you the different ways of working with me, whether it's through the phone, in person, or through a workshop. And I'm also launching a Global Healing Academy where I'm going to have a program online that has videos and audios learning these techniques yourself. So you could be anywhere in the world and just watch the videos, do the meditations, and then there's going to be a group call twice a month. And that's going to start in February of this year. So there's many different ways.
Michelle, I want to thank you so much for joining us. You've been a wonderful guest, and I am so honored for you to be here tonight.
Thank you so much, Raina. I love you. You're amazing. And thank you for all the incredible work that you're doing and for your awesome radio show. Can't wait to share this with my friends and my community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, everybody. That is tonight's show. If you'd like to follow us on our Facebook at facebook.com/Transcendental Transformation. That's all one word. Go to YouTube for our video archive at youtube.com/Transcendental Transformation. Visit my website, soulandspiritguide.com, and sign up for our newsletter to receive VIP access to special guest offers and hidden shows. And if you'd like to email me at transcendentaltransformations@gmail.com. Make sure you visit the w4cy.com website, and always remember to believe in yourself, and it's not our abilities or our talents that make us who we are, but it is our choices. Thank you and have a wonderful day.